Have you ever seen yourself in this situation? You promise that this will be the last time, but in just a moment, you are once again eating without control. And then comes the wave of guilt, shame, and the thought that something is wrong with you. If this feels familiar, listen carefully. You are not broken. Compulsion is not a sentence, but rather a signal that your mind is sending. And today, you will discover 3 psychological strategies that will help you finally turn off this signal and take control of your life. To understand this better, I searched for answers from psychologists and in books about eating behavior. And I found one universal truth. Compulsion is not a weakness of character. It is often connected to emotions we do not know how to process. Stress, anxiety, loneliness. And the brain triggers a signal in the form of an overwhelming urge to eat. But here's the good news. There are simple strategies, supported by psychology and scientific studies, that help restore control and make peace with food. And those are exactly the tools I want to share with you today. Let us set aside one common idea right away, that everything comes down to willpower. Compulsive overeating is not a flaw of character. It is a complex condition with psychological and emotional roots. Very often, it is the way your mind is found to cope with difficult emotions such as anxiety, stress, or loneliness. Food becomes a valve for releasing pressure, a quick relief for a much deeper pain. It is important to say that in some cases, medical follow-up and the use of medication can be necessary and very effective, so always consider a complete approach. But the strategies I will show you today are the foundation of any lasting change. The cycle of compulsion is cruel, and perhaps you know it all too well. It starts with an emotion that weighs on you. It may be the anxiety of a terrible workday, the loneliness of coming home to no one, or the frustration of looking in the mirror. To escape that feeling, you seek immediate relief in food. And for a brief moment, it works. Sugar, fat, they activate the brain's reward centers, giving you a wave of relief. But the flight is short. Right after comes the crash. Guilt, shame, anger at yourself for losing control again. You feel weak, like a failure. And those painful feelings create even more anxiety, which becomes the perfect trigger for the next episode. It is a vicious circle that imprisons you, drains your energy, and steals your self-esteem. In trying to break this cycle, many turn to highly restrictive diets, but that is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. Restriction is one of the biggest triggers for compulsion. The more you forbid yourself something, the more obsessed your brain becomes with it until it cannot resist. And the loss of control comes with full force. But there is good news. You can break these chains. There are ways to reprogram your mind. And today we will focus on 3 psychological strategies that you can begin to use as soon as this video ends. Strategy 1, anti-compulsion planning. The first strategy may seem simple, but it is one of the most powerful weapons against impulsivity. Planning. Think about it. Compulsion thrives on chaos. It feeds on the absence of structure. Coming home hungry and tired with no idea what to eat is the perfect recipe for disaster. You open the fridge and your brain, desperate for quick energy, screams, "Take anything! Now!" Why does it work? Planning removes decision fatigue. Throughout the day, we make so many small choices that our mental battery runs out. Planning eliminates the most dangerous decision of the day. What to eat at the exact moment when you are most vulnerable. Having a plan takes you out of the role of victim of the impulse and puts you in the position of control. You stop reacting and start acting. How to apply it? Dedicate 1 hour each week. For example, on Sunday, take an hour to outline your main meals for the week. Keep it simple, just the basics. A shopping list is your best friend. With the plan in hand, create your list and follow it faithfully. At the store, stick only to what is on the list. This protects you from impulsive purchases of trigger foods. Prepare your emergency kits. Compulsion loves to strike between meals. Always keep simple, healthy snacks nearby. A handful of nuts, a yogurt, a piece of fruit. Keep them in your bag, your car, or your work drawer. Cook in batches. If you can, prepare a base for the week. Rice, chicken, roasted vegetables. Store them in containers. Putting together a healthy plate will take 5 minutes, faster than waiting for delivery. The goal is not a prison diet, but rather creating a structure that gives you security. Strategy 2, the 10-minute pause. The second strategy is a mental pause button that you place between desire and action. Compulsion almost always operates on autopilot. The impulse arrives, and by the time you realize it, it has already happened. The 10-minute pause breaks this automatism. Why does it work? Our brain has a fast emotional pathway and a slower rational one. Compulsion is when the fast pathway takes complete control. By forcing a pause, you give your rational self time to step into the room and ask, "Wait, what is happening here?" These 10 minutes create space to question the impulse instead of blindly obeying it. This is when you begin to distinguish physical hunger, which builds gradually, from emotional hunger, which comes suddenly and specifically. How to apply it? Recognize the impulse. Feel that overwhelming and urgent desire? Stop. Without guilt, simply acknowledge. Okay, the compulsion impulse has appeared. Start the timer. Grab your phone, set it for 10 minutes. Make a pact with yourself. I will not eat anything for 10 minutes. After that, I will decide. For now, I will just wait. Be a detective. In those 10 minutes, breathe and ask yourself with curiosity, what am I really feeling? Is it my stomach growling, or is it tightness in the chest, restlessness, emptiness? Name the emotion, anxiety, boredom, loneliness. Decide consciously. When the alarm goes off, the urgency will most likely have lessened. Now the choice is yours. Perhaps you realize it was not hunger and decide to call a friend. Or maybe you still want to eat, but now the choice belongs to you, not to the impulse. And that sense of control changes everything. Our mission is to help people improve their lives and daily habits with simple advice. But to be heard, we also need your support. If these two strategies have already lit a spark of hope in you, do yourself and others a favor. Like this video and subscribe to the channel. When you do that, YouTube understands that this content is valuable and shows it to more people who may be suffering in silence. Together, we can change more lives. Strategy 3, the craving translator. The third strategy is learning to be a translator of your desires. Cravings are not random. They are coded messages from your mind. Emotional hunger does not ask for salad. It asks for specific foods with an emotional meaning. Usually foods full of sugar and fat, because their effect on the brain is powerful and immediate. Why does it work? This is pure self-knowledge. When you understand the trigger behind a craving, you can find smarter ways to address it. Trying to fill an emotional void with food is like trying to fill a bucket with a hole. The relief is quick, but the emptiness remains. When you address the real need, the craving loses its power. How to apply it? Create your dictionary of cravings. Start writing things down. When a craving comes, note what you want to eat and what you are feeling. Craving sweets, chocolate cake. Often a need for comfort, affection, or reward. Life feels bitter and you want some sweetness. Ask yourself, do I need a hug, a rest, a compliment? Craving carbohydrates, bread, pasta, usually linked to the need to calm down. These foods help produce serotonin, the well-being hormone. Ask yourself, am I anxious, stressed? Do I need calm? Craving salty and crunchy foods, chips, can be linked to anger or frustration. Crunching something can be a way to release tension. Ask yourself, what am I angry about? Who am I frustrated with? Find the emotional substitute. After identifying the need, give yourself what you really require. Need comfort? Instead of ice cream, take a hot shower, wrap yourself in your softest blanket with tea, or watch that film that feels like a hug. Need calm? Instead of pasta, take 5 minutes of deep breathing, put on a relaxing playlist, or stretch your body. Need to release anger? Instead of chips, put on loud music and dance, punch a pillow, or write down everything you are feeling and tear the paper. This is not about depriving yourself. This is about truly taking care of yourself. I deserve peace with myself. I have the right to live free from the chains of compulsion. I can be free and calm, and I am already on that path. So let us recap the three strategies. Anti-compulsion planning, to give you control, the 10-minute pause to break autopilot, and the craving translator to care for your real needs. I know this journey can feel lonely, but change is absolutely possible. Start small. Choose just one of these strategies and commit to practicing it this week. You do not need to be perfect. There will be good days and not so good days. The path to freedom from compulsion is not a straight line. It is made of progress, self-compassion, and consistency. Each time you use one of these strategies, you weaken the cycle of compulsion and strengthen yourself. You have the power to understand your mind and never again be a prisoner of food. You deserve to live a lighter life, at peace with your body. If this video spoke to you, please support us, like it, and subscribe to the channel. That way we can reach more people who need it. Share it with someone who could benefit. And tell us in the comments, which of the three strategies will you try first? Thank you for staying with me until the very end of this video. It means a lot to me, and I truly appreciate your time and trust. Take care of yourself because your well-being is the most important thing.